Good morning and welcome to E3. For those of you joining us right now, I'm Megan News. Today we will be interviewing candidates for the 2014 presidential election. Our second presidential candidate is here today, Jakub Jarmula from the Juliet Party. Thank you for joining me today, Mr. Jarmula. I'm really excited to talk to you and give our audience a better glimpse into the upcoming presidential campaign. So let's begin. Tell me a little about why you decided to run and what you're hoping to gain from this campaign.
Well, I've always been interested in politics and, especially activism. This allows me to have an opportunity to share my views, for politics for America, and, to prove, my views and just to be involved.
That's very noble of you. Thank you for sharing. So what is one issue that you care about very passionately?
Well, I believe that the healthcare, system is something that, is an interesting topic right now. It's under great controversy, but, I find interest in it. I'm looking to go into medicine, and, with the new mandates and laws, of tying government and healthcare together, I find that interesting.
If elected president, would that be your first act?
No. If I were president, I would, my first thing I would do is pull our troops out of Afghanistan. That follows my foreign policy. Bring our boys back home.
Now, transitioning into your platform, what are your opinions on social welfare programs? In your platform, you stated reducing foreign aid, welfare, and intelligence agency. How will this bode for citizens on Obamacare?
Well, you have to consider that Obamacare deals with health care. And with the intelligence agencies, that's more of our foreign affairs policy. But they both fall under the economic, management of our platform.
Mm-hmm.
For Obamacare, or the Affordable Health Care Act, we believe that the government is, stepping into personal rights by forcing everyone to have health insurance. On our platform, we stated that we want a free market, and we want to reduce the federal government's role. By forcing people to have health care, you're basically giving, the health insurance companies customers. You're guaranteeing them customers. While with, the option to opt out by not forcing people to have health care, the insurance companies have to have they have the competition, and they have to either lower their prices, give you, better deductibles, or better coverage. So, because you always have that option of just not having it. And we believe that, people can weigh, the outcomes for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Now, continuing on with the economy, how does your party plan to battle the economic downturn right now?
Well, we believe that the economic downturn right now is a result of the federal government with its, expenditures and just extensive spending.
Uh-huh.
So what we have here is, an unbalanced budget, and we want to fix that. It's going to be a top priority. We just want to keep the budget under control. We want to have, expenditures under control as well. I believe that every hour, $10.2 million in taxpayer money, of American taxpayer money, is being put towards the war in Afghanistan. That's, a huge, huge contribution from taxpayer money that could be going elsewhere. So we want to balance this by balancing, the economics, the education, and the foreign affairs.
Thank you for sharing. Now, you said some very positive things about education in your platform. Can you elaborate on the career-oriented curriculum and the changes that ensues?
Yes. By career-oriented, we must recognize that the U.S. is moving from, a manufacturing, a goods economy to a service economy. So, it's in the economic spectrum, it's higher up. We're, evolving how we're contributing to the world. So, by reducing the federal government's involvement with No Child Left Behind, with Common Core, with, these federal programs that try to control, every student's education and creativity, on a federal level, I just feel that it neglects the individuality that education presents. So we believe in returning that power to, regulate education back to the states, as it is said in the Constitution. And the states, they're close to these school districts. They know their populations, their demographics. They're closest to these, students. So I believe that the states are the best option for, organizing education. I believe that the federal government is just too far away from that. and it tries to standardize everything, and education is not a one-size-fits-all issue.
Now, how will you battle the rising cost for secondary education?
Well, what we see is, governmental loans being a primary source, but actually what occurred in the 90s when the government actually reduced its giving out of federal loans, we noticed a decrease in college tuition costs. So, if colleges know that the federal government is going to be providing funding for higher education, they know that they can raise their prices because they can count on the federal government, paying for some of that portion. While, you have so many private charities and nonprofit organizations and even private, investment firms and banks that are offering great loans. I believe that the federal government stepping into, the loans is a little bit too much because everyone's depending on it too much.
Okay, thank you. Now, turning our focus a little more outwards, what role do you see America playing on the world stage?
Well, we have to, we can't denounce America's involvement in world affairs, but we have to, adjust how we're doing it. So it's not the, the what, but the how. I believe that our foreign involvement in Afghanistan and in conflicts, especially as we see with ISIS especially, and also in Iraq, it's just not sustainable what we're doing. I believe that, on my first day of office, we will bring the troops back home. We will end these conflicts and these expenditures, this massive spending. And I believe that organizations, international organizations like the World Health Organization, NATO, the United Nations, UNICEF, you have all these fantastic, collaborations that can occur. And, you can have so many people from different countries contributing. By having the United States go into other countries and try to resolve conflicts, we aren't becoming the world's police, but we are also becoming vulnerable to the finger pointing. If the U.S. goes into, let's say, to resolve the ISIS conflict, ISIS, the state, the caliphate, as they call themselves, can, point towards the U.S. as being, invading and imperialistic. But with international organizations, it becomes a world initiative to resolve that conflict. So I believe that, with the U.S. contributing with other countries, we can all share in, maintaining peace and diplomacy. I don't believe action is the right way to go.
Okay, thank you so much for that insight. Are there any last comments that you'd like to add to sway the American public towards the Juliet Party?
Well, as of now, I just want people to be aware of our platform, what we stand for, justice and liberty. We just want, personal freedom and the expression of that. So that's what we stand for, and throughout the course of this election, we'll be highlighting some key points, but we're looking forward to this, and just looking forward to informing the people as well.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, an insider scoop into the Juliet Party. Thank you again, Mr. Jarmula, for joining us. I wish you all the best in your campaigning efforts. This is Mega News, handing it over to Chris Walland.